Listen carefully, because what I am about to say is not something you scroll past casually. In these next moments, something is approaching your life that carries weight, timing, and consequence. It may arrive quietly, without warning, but its impact will be undeniable. This is not ordinary coincidence, and it is not something that happens every day. A doorway is forming in your path, and when it opens, it will feel like everything pauses for a second, so you can decide whether to step forward or remain where you are. Right now, even if life has felt repetitive or stuck, there has been movement happening beneath the surface. While you were waiting, questioning, or even doubting, things were aligning in ways you could not see. People, timing, conversations, and opportunities have been shifting into place without your control. And now, that hidden alignment is about to surface in the form of an unexpected approach from someone who holds influence, presence, or authority in a certain area of your life. This moment is not random. It carries direction, it carries consequence, and most importantly, it carries potential that could redirect how you see yourself and what you believe you are capable of becoming. If you ignore it without awareness, you might miss something that was not meant to be stumbled upon twice. That is why you need to stay present, not distracted, because the details inside this experience matter more than they may initially appear. You may have gone through phases where nothing seemed to respond to your effort, where your patience felt endless, where you kept showing up, yet recognition felt distant or delayed. In those seasons, it may have seemed like silence was the only response you were getting back from life. But silence was not absence. It was preparation. It was structure forming beneath chaos. It was your path being shaped without revealing itself too early. Even when you felt overlooked, there were moments where you were being observed in ways you did not realize. The way you handled pressure, the way you stayed steady when quitting would have been easier, the way you held your integrity when shortcuts were available. These were not small decisions. They were building something in you that is now becoming visible through what is about to enter your life. A person with influence is moving closer to your path, not because you chased them, not because you forced timing, but because alignment has reached a point where connection becomes possible. Their arrival will not feel forced or artificial. It will feel like something clicks into place naturally, even if the timing surprises you. And when they present what they have to offer, it may not immediately look extraordinary on the surface, but underneath it will carry depth, access, and long-term direction. Stay alert in that moment, because what is being offered is not just about external gain. It is about transition. It is about stepping into a different level of responsibility, awareness, and opportunity. And transitions like this often test whether someone can recognize value without being blinded by doubt or fear. There may be a part of you that still remembers disappointment, and that memory might try to speak louder than the opportunity itself. It may suggest hesitation. It may create overthinking, but you cannot let past experiences distort present openings. Not everything new is repetition of what hurt you before. Some things are expansion disguised as unfamiliarity. If you feel something stirring inside while hearing this, acknowledge it. That inner response is not random. It is recognition. It is awareness meeting timing. And in moments like this, certainty comes later. First comes the willingness to stay open without collapsing into fear or rushing into assumptions. The individual approaching you will not only bring influence, but also perception. They will notice qualities in you that you may have underestimated. Where you once saw delay, they may see readiness. Where you once saw silence in your journey, they may see discipline. Where you once doubted your progress, they may recognize structure that has been forming all along. This encounter may happen unexpectedly. It could come through a conversation that feels casual at first. It could come through a mutual connection. It could come through a moment that seems small but carries a shift inside it. That is why awareness is important. Because life-changing moments rarely announce themselves loudly, you must also understand something important. Not every opportunity is meant to comfort you immediately. Some opportunities are designed to stretch your thinking, your confidence, and your identity. Growth rarely arrives in familiar packaging. It often arrives in situations that feel slightly bigger than your current comfort zone, requiring you to rise rather than retreat. This is one of those situations. You may be asked to step into a version of yourself that you have only previously imagined. And when that moment comes, hesitation will feel natural, but shrinking back will delay what has already begun moving toward you. There will also be voices around you that may not understand the shift taking place. Some may question it, some may misunderstand it, some may even project their own hesitation onto your situation. But you cannot allow external uncertainty to override internal direction. Not everyone is meant to understand what is assigned to you. What is important is that you remain steady in how you respond, not reactive, not fearful, not overly influenced. Just grounded, observant, and clear enough to recognize what aligns with your growth and what does not. The timing of this development is intentional in a way you may only understand later. Earlier versions of you might not have recognized its value. Earlier circumstances might not have allowed you to handle it properly. But now, through everything you have experienced, your awareness has matured. Your perception has sharpened. Your patience has sharpened. Your patience has deepened. And because of that, you are now positioned differently. This opportunity will not just open a door, it will reveal a direction that was previously hidden. And once that direction becomes visible, your understanding of what is possible for you will begin to expand. You may start realizing that your life was never as limited as it once felt, only undiscovered in certain areas. But even with expansion, discipline will matter. You cannot rush what unfolds. You cannot let excitement override clarity. You cannot let emotion replace awareness. Everything must be observed carefully, chosen wisely, and handled with patience, because what is received without awareness is often misunderstood later. This is not about grabbing quickly. It is about receiving correctly. There is a difference between reacting to opportunity and recognizing it. One leads to confusion, the other leads to stability. As this unfolds, you may notice changes not only within yourself but also in your surroundings. Situations that were previously blocked may begin to open. Conversations may shift. People may begin to see you differently. None of this is accidental. It reflects internal transformation becoming external reality. You are not being positioned for a temporary moment. You are being positioned for a longer phase of development. That means consistency will matter more than intensity. Steadiness will matter more than impulse, and awareness will matter more than speed. There will also be new attention entering your life as this shift becomes visible. Some of it will be genuine and some of it will not be. That is why discernment becomes essential. You will need to observe behavior, not just words, patterns, not just promises, consistency, not just presence. The opportunity itself may include expectations or responsibilities that stretch your current way of thinking, but instead of seeing that as pressure, see it as expansion. Because nothing meaningful grows without structure, and nothing lasting forms without responsibility. Looking back, you will eventually see how every part of your journey contributed to your readiness. Every delay, every lesson, every challenge added something to your foundation. And when you connect those dots later, you will understand that you were not being blocked. You were being built. This is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming fully aware of who you already are underneath hesitation and doubt. The version of you that is steady, capable, and prepared has been forming quietly through experience. As this new chapter begins, do not rush your interactions. Do not try to prove your worth. Do not force alignment. Let things develop naturally. What is meant for you will not require distortion. It will recognize you without struggle. And while everything begins to shift, patience will remain your strongest advantage. Because although moments may arrive suddenly, with the full meaning unfolds gradually. Understanding takes time, adjustment takes time, growth takes time, so move with awareness. Stay grounded in yourself, and remember that what is coming is not meant to confuse you, but to reveal what has already been prepared in your path. In the first seconds of your awareness right now, we're covered at war. Something unseen is already working in your favor, shaping outcomes before you even recognize them, aligning situations, people, and timing in a way that slowly begins to make sense only when you look back. You are not stepping forward blindly, even if it feels like it sometimes, because there is a direction underneath the uncertainty that is quietly holding you together and moving you towards something meaningful. Across your journey, there has always been a kind of invisible support system around you, not always obvious, not always loud, but present in the background of your struggles, keeping you from falling completely when things felt overwhelming. Even in moments when you thought you were alone in your decisions, there were patterns guiding you towards stability, pushing you away from things that would not serve your future and nudging you toward paths that would eventually strengthen you. Right now, your life is entering a phase where confusion and clarity exist side by side. You may not fully understand everything unfolding, but there is a deeper order underneath it all. When your mind becomes uncertain, there will still be a quiet center within you that feels steady, almost like an internal compass, refusing to break. That inner steadiness is not random. It is the result of everything you have survived up to this point. There will be moments when your thoughts try to scatter, when doubt tries to convince you that you are not ready or not enough. But something stronger inside you will always rise again if you allow it. That sense of inner grounding is what you must return to repeatedly, especially when external noise becomes overwhelming. It is not about forcing certainty, but about remembering that you have already handled situations in the past that once felt impossible. You might notice that opportunities, conversations, and unexpected connections begin appearing more frequently now. Some of them will feel meaningful, others will feel unclear, and a few will require you to slow down and think deeply before responding. The key is not speed, but awareness. What is meant to align with you will not require you to abandon your clarity or rush beyond your understanding. At the same time, be careful of influences that appear dramatic, urgent, or overly appealing in ways that bypass your logic. In the modern world, many ideas circulate quickly online, claiming transformation, instant change, or hidden systems of success. Not everything that reaches your attention deserves your belief or your action. Discernment is becoming one of your strongest tools moving forward. You are also entering a stage where your emotional strength is being refined. Situations may arise that test how you respond under pressure, not to break you, but to reveal how much you have grown. These moments will show whether you react from fear or from awareness, whether you rush into decisions or pause long enough to understand what is truly being asked of you. There will be people who recognize something in you before you fully recognize it in yourself. This recognition is not random. It is based on qualities within you that have been forming quietly over time. Still, even when others see your potential, It is important that you do not depend on their perception to define your worth. What they notice is only a reflection of what you are beginning to develop internally. As interactions deepen and new responsibilities or connections begin to form, your ability to listen carefully will become essential, not just hearing words, but understanding intention, tone, and meaning beneath the surface. Many misunderstandings in life come from reacting too quickly instead of absorbing fully. You are being guided toward a more thoughtful way of engaging with everything around you. In the past, you may have accepted situations that did not fully respect your value simply because you felt it was necessary to keep moving forward. That phase of your life is gradually shifting. You are now being placed in circumstances where you have more space to choose, more awareness of your value, and more responsibility in how you respond to what is offered to you. This does not mean life becomes easier. It means you become more conscious, and with awareness comes responsibility. You will be required to think more deeply before agreeing to paths, commitments, or decisions that shape your direction. Every choice begins to carry more weight because your future becomes more sensitive to the direction you select. Along this path, you may experience small internal tests, not external exams, but subtle moments where your patience, integrity, and emotional control are observed through outcomes. These are not punishments or traps. They are reflections of your growth. They reveal whether you remain steady when conditions shift or whether you lose yourself under pressure. One of the most important things you must hold on to is authenticity. As situations evolve, there may be pressure to adjust your personality, your decisions, or your behavior just to fit in or to secure approval. But long-term stability is never built on pretending. The more genuine you remain, the stronger your foundation becomes. Fear may occasionally attempt to influence your decisions, especially when something feels valuable or rare. It may try to push you into quick acceptance or hesitation, driven by anxiety of missing out. But anything that is truly aligned with your path will not require you to abandon your peace of mind. Calmness is often a signal that you are still within your truth. If anything begins to feel rushed, unclear, or emotionally pressured, that is your cue to slow down. Pausing does not mean losing opportunity. It means protecting your direction. You are not in a phase where desperation should guide your choices. You are in a phase where awareness should lead every step. As new individuals enter your life, or existing ones begin to reveal deeper intentions, observe carefully how actions align with words. Real understanding does not come from promises alone, but from consistency over time. People reveal themselves through patterns, not moments. Your strength is not defined by how much you can impress others, but by how firmly you can remain yourself under changing conditions. Being grounded, honest, and self-aware will take you further than any temporary performance ever could. Stability in character becomes your real advantage. Old memories, past fears, or previous disappointments may occasionally resurface, especially when you are about to move into something unfamiliar. Instead of resisting them, acknowledge them as echoes of earlier versions of yourself. They are not predictions of your future. They are reminders of how far you have already come. Discipline will also become increasingly important. When new doors open, it is not just excitement that determines progress, but consistency in how you manage your time, energy, and focus. Many opportunities fade not because they are wrong, but because attention is not sustained long enough to develop them properly. You may start to imagine possibilities that once felt distant or unrealistic. That shift in perception is part of your expansion. Your mind begins to accept versions of your future that previously felt too large to consider. This does not mean everything appears instantly. It means your internal boundaries are beginning to stretch. Even when others do not understand your choices or direction, you must remember that not every path is meant to be explained to everyone. Some journeys are understood only by the one walking them. External approval is not a requirement for internal alignment. New environments, unfamiliar spaces, and different social or professional settings may begin to appear in your life. At first, they might feel unfamiliar, but over time you will recognize that you are not out of place within them. You are simply adapting to a higher level of expectation and awareness. At the same time, it is important not to disconnect from where you came from. Your history, your background, and everything you have experienced remain part of your foundation. They are not burdens. They are the reason you are able to stand with strength in new environments without losing your identity. What is unfolding in your life is not just about external change. It is about internal transformation that reshapes how you see yourself, how you respond to situations, and how you define what is acceptable in your life moving forward. Growth always carries both discomfort and expansion together. Gratitude will become one of your stabilizing forces. As things begin to shift, there will be moments where you realize that what is happening now is something you once quietly hoped for, even if you did not expect it to arrive in this form. Holding on to appreciation will keep your mind balanced through change. Stay aware of the present moment rather than losing yourself in what-ifs. The more grounded you remain in what is happening right now, the more clearly you will be able to make decisions that support your long-term direction. There will come a point where everything feels more real and more direct, where you realize that you are not just observing change but actively participating in it. That realization can feel powerful because it reminds you that your actions matter more than you previously believed. With that realization also comes responsibility, but you are not unprepared for it. Every experience that shaped you until now has contributed to your ability to handle what is arriving next. You are not starting from zero. You are building on everything you have already learned. As things continue unfolding, remember that every connection, every opportunity, and every challenge is also a mirror reflecting your development. Nothing is random in how it shapes your awareness. Even confusion has a purpose when it leads you toward deeper understanding. Before making decisions, especially those that carry long-term consequences, give yourself space to think clearly. Let silence and reflection be part of your process. Clarity does not come from rushing. It comes from allowing understanding to settle naturally within you, and through it all, remain steady in who you are becoming, not who you were, not who others expect you to be, but the version of you that is forming through experience, awareness, and steady growth. Do not hurry the decisions you are making right now, because rushed thinking often leads to outcomes that feel disconnected from your deeper sense of direction. Let everything unfold at a pace where your awareness can actually keep up with your choices. When outside pressure starts trying to influence your direction, pause internally and remind yourself that no urgency from the outside world should override the calm knowing within you. You are not meant to bend yourself just to fit into situations that feel misaligned. Your purpose here is to grow, to evolve, and at the same time remain anchored in your authentic self without losing that inner foundation. As you continue forward, you may start to notice a natural filtering happening in your life. Your hours feel more meaningful, your attention becomes sharper, and your mental space no longer tolerates random noise the way it once did. Even your emotional energy begins to get directed more intentionally, almost as if your system is learning to prioritize what truly matters. This is not something forced. It is something that develops as a result of inner maturity. Conversations that once felt acceptable may now feel unnecessary. Environments that once felt normal may now feel draining, and instead of feeling loss, you start to feel clarity. Do not interpret this shift as becoming cold or distant. It is not emotional withdrawal, it is conscious selection. You are simply becoming more aware of where your energy goes and what it returns in your life. There is no need to feel guilty for no longer entertaining what does not contribute to your direction. In fact, this is a sign that you are finally respecting your own mental space. Your attention is becoming valuable to you, and so you are no longer distributing it carelessly. There will be phases where progress feels quiet, almost like nothing is happening on the surface. During those times, it is easy to assume something is wrong or that you are falling behind. But not every stage of development is designed to be visible. Some of the most important transformations happen in silence, where no external validation confirms them yet. These are the moments where patience becomes essential. You are being shaped in ways that only make sense later, not immediately. Stay steady even when things appear still, because stillness is not absence of progress. There will also be times when your expectations push you to want faster movement, quicker answers, or immediate results. But what is being formed for you requires stability, not speed. If you rush the process, you risk missing details that are essential for long-term strength. When you allow timing to mature naturally, the outcome becomes more stable and far more aligned with your actual readiness. What has been placed in front of you is not just an opportunity in the surface sense. It also reflects how you handle responsibility, awareness, and inner discipline. The way you respond to what is happening around you matters just as much as the situation itself. Your mindset becomes the foundation that determines whether this experience expands you or overwhelms you. Every small action you take from here carries weight, even the ones that seem minor at first. Over time, you may notice that your confidence starts shifting away from external approval. Instead of needing validation from others, you begin to rely more on your internal sense of stability. This kind of confidence is quiet. It does not demand attention or recognition. It simply exists in the background, steady and unshaken, built on the understanding that you are capable of navigating your own path. Hold on to this inner stability, especially during moments when external conditions feel uncertain or inconsistent. As your awareness expands, you also become more open to learning. Growth does not end at any single stage. It continues to unfold as long as you remain receptive. New environments will challenge your thinking. New perspectives will stretch your understanding, and situations that feel unfamiliar will encourage you to adapt rather than resist. Instead of rejecting what feels different, you begin to observe, absorb, and refine what is useful for your journey. At the same time, you will start noticing that not every opinion deserves space in your decision-making process. Some people will recognize why, our progress, and respond with encouragement, while others may react with confusion or subtle resistance. Neither reaction should become your compass. Praise can distract just as much as criticism can discourage if you allow either to define your direction. Your focus must remain centered on your path, not on how others interpret it. There may also be an urge at times to accelerate everything, to secure outcomes quickly and remove uncertainty immediately. But rushing creates instability. When you slow down enough to move with awareness, your decisions become stronger and more aligned. Patience in this phase is not inactivity. It is strategic grounding. It allows you to build something that can actually sustain future pressure instead of collapsing under it. Protecting your inner peace becomes extremely important during this period. Not every situation requires your reaction, and not every voice deserves your attention. Learning to step back from unnecessary noise is not avoidance, it is preservation. Your clarity is your most valuable resource right now, and without it, even positive opportunities can start to feel overwhelming or scattered. There is also a deeper realization forming within you about how past challenges were never wasted. Every difficult experience contributed to the strength you are now carrying. What once felt like setbacks actually trained your patience, your endurance, and your ability to adapt. Those earlier phases were not separate from where you are now, they were preparation for it. In your path, you may come across claims circulating online about hidden practices or unusual methods said to transform financial circumstances in extremely short periods, sometimes even attributed to powerful institutions or secret findings. While such ideas often spread widely and attract curiosity, it is important to remain grounded and not let sensational narratives replace practical thinking. Real transformation does not depend on shortcuts or mysterious techniques, but on consistent action, discipline, and mental clarity applied over time. As you continue this journey, your sense of direction becomes stronger even when uncertainty exists around you. You start trusting a deeper form of guidance within yourself, a quiet awareness that helps you choose more carefully. You are not moving alone in the sense that your past, your learning, and your inner resilience are all actively supporting your current steps. Everything you have experienced so far is contributing to how you respond to what is unfolding now. This phase is not about a single turning point, it is about continuous unfolding. One change leads into another, and each layer reveals something new about your capacity. Over time, you begin to realize that many of your previous concerns no longer hold the same weight they once did. This is not confusion. It is clarity developing gradually within you. Transformation often feels uncomfortable because it requires you to step outside familiar patterns. It asks you to think differently, respond differently, and carry yourself with a level of awareness that you may not have used before. But discomfort in this context is not a sign of danger. It is a sign of expansion. You are being adjusted into a version of yourself that can handle more than before. As this continues, every decision becomes more intentional. Even small choices begin to influence larger outcomes, which is why care and awareness become essential in daily life. You cannot afford to move unconsciously in this stage, because your actions are now shaping long-term direction more strongly than ever. At certain points, you may also feel distance forming between yourself and people or situations that once felt familiar. This is not rejection or punishment. It is natural separation based on alignment. Not everything from your past is meant to accompany you forward. Letting go of what no longer fits creates space for what is meant to develop next. The people or influences connected to your current opportunity may continue to play a role in your journey, but they are not the entirety of your direction. Your stability cannot depend on any single connection. It must remain rooted in something deeper within you so that external changes do not shake your foundation. Challenges will continue to appear, but their role is not to stop you. They are designed to test your consistency, your patience, and your ability to stay balanced under pressure. Each challenge is part of strengthening your readiness for what is still ahead. Nothing you are facing right now is separate from your growth. It is part of the structure shaping your future capacity.